Welcome back, Film Force fans. Get excited as we look back at all 18 MCU films in the countdown to Avengers Infinity War.
This movie is about Tony Stark creating an AI, artificial intelligence, using one of the Infinity Stones. And basically the consequences of his actions. He creates a machine which wants to destroy humanity.
Peace in our time. Imagine that.
Age of Ultron. This film, we're also looking forward to it. The first Avengers was a blast. It's the second Avengers. Let's do this.
I absolutely loved Avengers Age of Ultron. Marvel just keep producing films. Every film they do is bigger and better. It was absolutely fantastic. This film was everything I wanted it to be.
It was okay. I saw it twice at the cinema. I had fun with it. There were some good moments. But it was lacking something. It was lacking some heart, I found. And it was lacking a cohesive storyline and a badass villain.
So this is the second Avengers movie, and known to be the bad one, which I think is a little bit unfair. Yes, it's not quite as good as the first Avengers movie, but then what is? I mean, that was a fantastic movie. That had absolutely everything. I mean, you have to really nitpick in that movie to want to take it apart.
Now, let's start with things. What did I love about this film? Now, one thing that most people don't like, but I loved the fact that they explored Hawkeye in this film. They introduced us to Hawkeye's family, which gave him a reason to why he was doing this. He was fighting for his family in a way, and it really showed when, had that scene with Scarlet Witch saying, it doesn't make sense. I have a bow and arrow, but I'm doing this because it is my job. It is my job to go out there and try and make the world a safer place, and I like that.
Yeah, I love the character development in this movie. You got to see a lot more into Hawkeye, his family, what he's like when he's not shooting people.
I love that we kind of get to know a little bit more of the backstory of Hawkeye. I think that's going to come into play a lot more in Avengers Infinity War, which is really, really exciting.
You got to see Captain America. He lost a little bit at the farm, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more angry, which is quite nice to see. He's not always this Boy Scout. There's a lot more to him.
Every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, innocent people die.
And again with Thor, Thor was really, really good. A little bit, on the farm, he disappears to deal with his own personal issues.
I love this, the kind of the mine scenes where we see all the individual Infinity Stones. They're like setting up for Infinity War, like we're getting hints as to what the future's going to come. It's absolutely amazing.
Another thing I hated was the 4 hot tub time machine scene where he went in that. It was just stupid. The visions that all the characters had, they were interesting, but him going off and exploring Infinity Stones, this was where we started getting the syndrome for people saying, oh, this film should be setting up the next film. No, this film should be doing what it should be, a film. It should be telling the film's story. If it happens to lay a little few Easter eggs they can use for the next film, great. But if it doesn't, don't worry about setting it up. And that's what the studio was like. We got to set up Infinity War. That's freaking nearly 10 films down the line. Can we just wait, please? Wait.
I love that we're introduced to the twins kind of on the island.
I would have liked to see a little bit more development with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I mean, yes, we got their backstory, a little bit about them, but they were at least, because they were the new ones on the scene, they could have done with a little bit more build-up.
Acting roles that stood out to me, you got to mention, I think, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They didn't have much to do in this film, but the bits they did, you understood their story, why they had subjected themselves to experiments, and then why they sort of changed their mind, became these superheroes. I thought that was really good. And then Quicksilver's death. They had to have a death in this film, and I'm sad they chose Quicksilver because he was only just been introduced. But I understood why they did it. We wanted to form all the characters we already knew. And I'm glad Hawkeye didn't die, because that would have been a short stick as well for him.
You didn't see that coming.
But Quicksilver's emotional death was good, and I did feel it. people say, "Oh, I didn't fall in love with him enough." Just that line, you didn't see that coming. That was such a throwback to that when he first took out Clint. It was great.
Liz Olsen's character Scarlet Witch, I think, is fantastic in this movie, Avengers: Age of Ultron. We first see her kind of on the dark side, as it were, and then Ultron's plan is kind of revealed, and we get to see what his idea is, and then she kind of pulls away. She gets a bit shy. We see her a bit timid, and then there's that scene after her pep talk with Hawkeye where she like bursts through the doors and in Sokovia and just starts kicking ass and throwing this red stuff like everywhere, and it's absolutely amazing. I thought she was fantastic in this film. I absolutely love the scene in Stark Tower with Thor's hammer, where they're going around seeing who's worthy enough, and then there's that moment where Cap almost picks it up, and you kind of see a glimpse of Thor who like hesitates, and his whole world like stops in his mind, and it's just really, really fun.
I also loved sort of the smaller scenes we had, like the character scenes, like them just all around having a bit of banter and trying to pick up Thor's hammer, which was a huge reveal later in the movie.
And then like later on, Vision just picks it up and gives it to him. It's like, what? It's absolutely hilarious. I absolutely loved that.
I mean, you got Andy Serkis, who's just fantastic in everything, and it was really great to actually see him without him being a monkey or Gollum or some sort of CGI character. It was nice to actually have him in a movie, something he doesn't do particularly often.
I love the fight with Ultron in Stark Tower. We begin to kind of see who Ultron is and how that's progressed from Stark and Banner's initiative and their minds.
Yeah, at this point I'm getting a little bit bored with the CGI villains. They're not necessary. There's not really so much to them. But there was no really any other way of doing Ultron. I think they did the best they could, and it was still good.
You have another issue with the villain Ultron. Ultron should have been a badass villain. The Age of Ultron is a great comic. I've read it. It is so good. And to me, this was a weekend of Ultron. And then he was quippy. Yes, he's from Tony Stark, but he was just... in the trailers he seemed threatening, and here he was like, you know, one of your uncles who just is slightly mad and is a bit evil, but makes really good funny jokes.
I can't physically throw up in my mouth.
You made Ultron a little bit too cartoony with the things he was saying, and I'm bored of CGI characters and villains. A little bit cliche in the story plot, but that's not really too bad.
I loved the Black Widow and Hulk relationship, because we didn't see that coming. Her and Bruce Banner, I thought that was a really nice, genuine, sweet, sort of just very relaxed hinting of relationship.
I love the humour throughout all this film, right away from the first scene. You've got the banter between Cap and Iron Man about his language, and that just continues to play all the way through. I think it's hilarious. And
those comedic moments worked, but then there were just so many comedic moments during the fights. Which meant to be action-packed, it's meant to be emotional, you're meant to be really feeling for these characters, and they're just quacking. They're just making quips, minding language, things like this. Just stop it, please. Joss Whedon, you did great with the first film, and don't try to add more of that stuff in.
Oh, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
And then, of course, the massive battle of Sokovia. I think, for me, these Marvel films, they just get bigger and better. The scenes, the fights just get bigger and bigger and more realistic and better. And that's just playing up to Infinity War, which is obviously going to be like the biggest scene and fight that we've seen ever. So that's going to be absolutely incredible. And then obviously the end scene where we see Thanos reaching for the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, it's just mad. It's setting us up for Infinity War. It's going to be crazy. It's been awesome.
Now, I did have fun with the end action scene. It was good. I did have fun with a lot of this film. But overall, there was a lot more bad, I felt, than the good. But there were some great, good moments in it.
So what did I dislike about this movie? I literally did not like anything about this movie. It was everything that I wanted it to be.
Thank you.
I think this movie gets an awful lot more criticism than it deserves, purely for the fact that it's not as good as the first one.
What would I rate this film? To me, even though I do like watching it, it there's so many bits I just want to skip. So I'm going to give it a reasonable 6.5 out of 10.
And what would I rate Avengers Age of Ultron? I would rate Avengers Age of Ultron a solid 8 out of 10. Thanks very much.
It never was going to be. It's unfair to judge it compared to the first Avengers movie. And I think this is a really good movie. I'd probably give this about a 7 out of 10. Definitely watch it again, anytime. I really enjoy it.
Thank you for watching this episode of the MCU fan countdown to Avengers Infinity War. Make sure you check out everyone's links in the description below, and like and comment and share this video, and check out the video tomorrow. Until next time, bye.